how we are converting an infix expression to prefix and postfix, as well as we evaluated an postfix expression as well as prefix expression. Now in this video lecture we are discussing a new data structure called as a queue. Queue is a collection of ordered data items. Queue is an ordered collection of data items in which insertion of new element and deletion of existing elements are always taken place at two different ends. Insertion end is called as a rear end and deletion end is called as a front end. We already discussed stack data structure. Stack is also a collection of linear data elements in which insertion of new element and removal of existing elements are always taken place at the same end. That end is top. But in this queue data structure, it is also a collection of linear data elements. But in this insertion end is called as a rear end and deletion end is called as a front end, which contains two different ends which are specifically meant for performing insertion operation and deletion operations. But in stack data structure we are having only one end. From that end only we are going to be inserting and deleting a data item. And queue follows an FIFO order. Queue follows FIFO order. FIFO means first in, first out. You need to remember this one. This will be asked in examination for expanding FIFO, or it might be asked like this: mention the data structure which follow FIFO order. Which follow FIFO order. It is nothing but queue data structure. Queue follow FIFO order. Queue follow FIFO order means FIFO means first in, first out. The element which is first inserted to the queue is first removed from the queue. That's why it's called as a FIFO data structure. It is also called as a FIFO data structure. Means the element which is first inserted to the queue data structure is first removed from the queue data structure. That's why it's called as a FIFO data structure. Now we are going to be discussing with the diagrammatic representation how we are going to be representing a queue data structure. I draw in data structure in which I collected some data items. These are order collection of data items which consist of two different ends. Those are rear end and front end. Rear end and front end. Rear end is specially meant for inserting a data item into queue data structure, and front is an end which is specially meant for performing delete an element, existing element from the queue data structure. Right, in which we are going to be inserting from one end, we are going to be deleting from another end. Specially meant for two different ends. Those are insertion end and deletion end. Insertion end is called as a rear end and deletion end is called as a front end. FIFO means the element which is first inserted to the queue is first removed from the queue. Means whatever the element which you are inserted to this queue is first removed from this queue data structure. Okay, now we are going to be discussing types of queue. Queues are classified into four different types. Those are simple queue, circular queue, priority queue, and double-ended queue. Now we are going to discuss these four different types of queue one by one. First one is simple queue. What do you mean by queue or simple queue? Queue or simple queue is an ordered collection of data elements in which insertion of new element and removal of existing elements are always taken place at two different ends. Those are insertion end is called as a rear end and deletion end is called as a front end. It's a normal definition of queue definition. Simple queue or a queue is an ordered collection of data elements in which insertion of new element and removal of existing elements are taken place at two different ends. Insertion end is called as a rear end and deletion end is called as a front end. It's the definition of simple queue definition. The next one is circular queue. Circular queue is a queue in which all the data elements of the queue are treated in a circular fashion. All the data elements of this queue are treated as a circular fashions. Or circular queue is a queue in which rear end follows front end. That form an circular order which constitute the elements of this data structure are organized in the form of circular form. That's why it is called as a circular queue. Simple definition, in which rear end follows and front end. Rear end follows and front end. This is going to be treating the elements of this data structure are organized in a circular form. That's why it's called as a circular queue. Circular queue in which the the rear end follows and front end is called as a circular queue, or simply circular queue is a queue in which all the elements of the circular queue are treated as a circular fashion. That's called as a circular queue. The next one is priority queue. Priority queue is a queue in which all the queues are assigned or preset with some preset priority value. Based on this preset priority value, we are going to be performing operations on this queue. See this one, in this priority queue, I have three different types of queues. Those are Q1, Q2, Q3. Q1, Q2, Q3. And all these three different queues are assigned with certain preset priority value. These are 0th priority, first priority, second priority. Priority means I am having several number of queues. Among these, if you want to perform certain operation, among these, which queue has to choose for performing certain operation? It is quite confusing, method. To avoid this one, I am going to be assigning certain preset priority value, so that which is going to be resolving that confusion. Based on this preset priority value, which is going to be choosing an queue which is having low priority value, lower priority value. Means if you want to perform certain operations on this queue, which queue is going to be selected for performing certain operation? It is chosen the Q1 which is having a lower priority value. It means the lower priority value has the highest precedence. Means which is having a lower priority value has highest precedence for performing operations on this queue data structure. I think you got the definition of this priority queue definition. It is simple. Priority queue is a queue. These queues are assigned with certain preset priority value. Based on this preset priority value, these queues are going to be selected for performing certain operations. That's why these are called as priority. They are giving certain priority to certain functions. Right? In the same way, we are going to be assigning certain priority to these queues. Based on this priority, we are going to be choosing these queues for performing certain operation. That's why it's called as a priority queue. The last one is double-ended queue. Double-ended queue or a DQ. Double-ended queue or a DQ is a queue in which we are allowed to perform insertion and deletion from the both ends. Where we are allowed to perform insertion and deletion from the both ends. That's why it's called as a double-ended queue. Double-ended queue is a queue in which we are allowed to perform insertion as well as deletion from the both ends. While we discussing in queue definition, what we discussed that queue is the auto collection of data elements where insertion of new element and existing element can be deleted from two different ends. Right? But in this double-ended queue, it is possible. It is possible to insert an element and a deleted element from the both ends. But it is not possible to perform both operations simultaneously at the same end. Means you are inserting at this end and at the same time to try to delete an element from the same end is not possible. If you are going to be using it as an insertion end, then other must be used as a deletion end. If you are going to be choosing this end as a insertion end, then you must choose other end as a deletion end. It is not possible to perform both operations simultaneously to the same end. But it allows. From this end we can insert, from this end we can delete. If only it is possible, if we choose this end for insertion, then we must choose other end for deletion. If we choose this end for insertion, we need to choose this other end for a deletion. I think you got the definition of double-ended queue. Simple. Double-ended queue is a queue where we are allowed to insert and delete from both ends, which allows us to perform insertion operation as well as deletion operation from the both ends. Okay, thank you. In next class, now we are going to be discussing one more important 5 marks concept, that is operation performed on Q data structure.